So let's do something provocative and funny today.
Okay.
That wasn't very funny. It's kind of a little provocative.
Um, well, there's probably a lot to be funny about because, like you said, everybody's getting. This word comes to my mind. My sister used a snootful. She says that when someone's had too much to drink, but everyone's had about enough of this baloney. Now, I can't say everybody, but a lot of people are just tired of all this stuff. So it's like, you know what? Let's jump up and down. Let's party. Let's sing. Let's dance. Let's change the world. Let's take back our power. Let's, whatever we have to do.
Yeah, let's get
to release a little bit of stress.
Let's get a little funky, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah,
I'm not going to dance today.
Oh, darn. That's too bad. We loved your dance.
All right. But I do want to.
So, if anyone hasn't heard the song Jerusalem by Master KG, you need to Google that, pull up some of the dances, and you'll automatically be in a better mood than you were before you did it.
It's Jerusalem.
Jerusalem what? Jerusalem. That's what it is, right? No? Okay, what is it? Jerusalem.
Jerusalem, Lema at the end. I'll put something in the credits, okay?
Lema, but that's not Liam, that's Lima.
Jerusalem. Sorry.
Wow. You're wow.
Right. I got a little indignant, didn't I?
Yeah.
All right. Jerusalem.
There you go.
All right. I'll put something in the credits, but it is a fun, feel-good song. And apparently I may or may not have danced to it. And there may or may not be a video of me dancing to it. And
yeah. If anybody's really interested.
We're just going to leave it at that. I actually have kind of something I want to talk about today. I want to talk about other lives. Sometimes I say past lives, but my truth is that there's no past, present, or future, right? So a lot of people would say past lives, but I just call them other lives because they're happening because there is no time,
right?
So if I say past life, that's what I mean. I don't mean it happened prior to now, but it's just easier to say sometimes because we're more used to that language. And that whole concept of, I've had this issue a couple of times in the last couple of years where I feel like I'm living in two time zones or two timelines, even though time doesn't exist, but I'm in two different lives at one time.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I wanted to talk about that because that's been happening again, where I know I'm in this world where I'm talking to you, but there's times when my body's in another world at another time and place, and I know it's not this world. And I don't believe I'm mentally ill in that way, like a thought disorder, perceptual disturbance. I'm pretty sure I'm not. And I don't think it's organic, like a brain tumor or any kind of biological reason why I feel that. So I just wondered what you thought about that. Is that possible? And is that happening more,
Yeah, it's really funny that you bring that up because I don't even know who I watched or who I read or what I saw on it. But yeah, we've got several different live timelines going on at once, and like, I agree with you, there is no past, present, or future. So everything's happening at one time.
Mm-hmm.
And we've always sometimes stepped in out of one into another. But right now, with all this there's been a change in the magnetic grid right after 2012, I think. And that opened that up for more of these sun flares, more of the power and the energy off those to get through. And what is happening now is these lives, what I'm understanding is they're coming all into one. We get to embody our entire soul piece that's here on the planet, or here on wherever we're at. And it's like, yeah, we are stepping in and out of different lifetimes right now. It is what's the word? It's a little weird. It's a little confusing. And we can probably slow it down. If we think we're getting too much, we can slow it down. But it's really a part of what's going on right now. So I'm not so sure I want to slow it down, even though things are way different and other things are starting to happen. You know, it's like you're not as fully invested in this opinion as you were yesterday. Okay. It's like,
Yeah.
that doesn't mean that much anymore, you know, or that TV show or that book you're reading or this belief that you had, you know, it's like,
right.
You move beyond, you know, you're up leveling, as some people say, and you're up leveling because you're bringing all your wisdom in together.
So let me clarify a few things. So you said, you know, there was a time when we would step out of one life and into another, where it was kind of like this or that. And I think of some of the shows. I don't know if you ever watched Outlander. I love that show where
Yeah, we watch it all the time.
They go back in time. I just love that, you know. They go through that witch's portal or whatever and go back to that other life. And she kind of travels back and forth a little bit. And there's been TV shows about that. There's a million of those shows. And so I get that concept, and I think, you know, those shows probably exist because we're linear, right? It's black and white with us. It's on a continuum. And so after this magnetic change in the atmosphere in 2012, a shift with that happened where, in your senses, it's kind of all of those lives are coming together as opposed to us being able to step from one to another.
That's what I'm understanding. Okay. That's what I am understanding. I don't claim to absolutely know anything.
I know this is just, yeah, you know, we're just talking, you know.
Right. And things change so much, right, that I've heard that from more than one source.
Right.
It makes sense to me.
Right. And I have too. And some of the things that have happened to me, you know, you've kind of counseled me through that, saying, well, perhaps this is what's happening, and that kind of makes sense as well. I guess one of the things that I'm curious about is, you know, it's one thing to step into another life and you're totally in that life. But then you've got pieces, parts. And what if in one of those lives, like in Outlander, there were like these horrible wars, or, you know, she fell in love and married somebody in her past life and then was married to somebody else in this life, and she was going back and forth, and it was all messed up. So how do you reconcile all that? You know,
that feels a little different to me, because it isn't like she had lived in that past lifetime, because she hadn't, as far as she knew. She simply went from where she was and ended up in that time.
No, I thought I saw it as her past life.
I never saw it that way. I never saw it that way. I just saw it as she accidentally ended up there because she
Right.
wasn't familiar with anybody at that time when she went back there.
That's true. That's true. You're right.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I think there are so many experiences in these lives that we have,
Right.
and different people have different experiences. I kind of think when we're going between timelines now, it's almost like you saw something on a movie 6 years ago and you see the movie again today, and that one section isn't in there anymore. It's just really stuff that
What the
I,
fuck is that?
huh? Yeah,
What the
it's,
fuck is that?
yeah, it's, or like, they'll say somebody died in this particular year, and then you see the news and they're alive. It's like,
I don't know what the hell you're smoking.
yeah, I mean, it's just a whole bunch of stuff that goes on all the time. And we're just getting more and more into the middle of all of it because it's all coming in.
I will tell you, I have an experience with this with Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer because, Christina and I watched that, the old from like 1960s Rudolph every Christmas. And
Okay.
she probably watched it for like 50 years in a row, multiple times each Christmas. And so, I've been watching it a lot. This year, we watched it and we just kept looking at each other going, I don't remember this. I don't remember this part. And it was longer than usual. And there were parts because she, in fact, she's kind of a savant. So she memorizes shit like that. I mean, she hears it once and she's got it. And so she knows the whole thing. She knows all the lines. She can do all the parts. And I can do like two, and the abominable snowman and the guy with the pickaxe. Yukon Cornelius.
There
So
you go.
so there are sections, like three different sections, parts that were never in it before, but it's the same one that we watch all the time.
Yeah. So see, that's what I'm talking about. Someone else brought this up to me years ago, and I've never figured it out or understood it. I'm surprised it even came out of my mouth because I have no understanding of it. But there's a word for it, and I can't. When I find the word, I'll share it. But the Mandela Effect. I believe that's what's called. And Mandela, the great guy that was in prison all this time.
Okay. Nelson Mandela.
It got named for him because people saw two different timelines on him. Some people saw this one, some people saw that one. It's a very different, it's not an easy concept for us to wrap our minds around, except for the fact that with all this light coming in right now, all this exceptionally heavy light right this moment, they say we should be taking very good self-care right now because it's huge. What did you find?
Well, I looked up Mandela Effect. And so there's a website, mandelaeffect.com, and it says, sorry for the inconvenience. Due to bandwidth issues, our website is currently under revision. Thank you for understanding.
So they've been taken off, I suspect. Like so much other stuff right now is being totally censored.
You're freaking me out.
That's pretty interesting. It's interesting that we went down that road.
Yeah. Is this backwards?
No. Yeah.
I just want to.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I'm not making shit up.
Nope. That's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting that even came into our discussion today. But more censorship. This is really powerful stuff that we're beginning to absorb and beginning to wake up to.
See, okay, so here's, this is on a mental health website about the Mandela effect. Um, the Mandela effect occurs when a large group of people believe an event occurred when it did not. There are many examples of the Mandela effect in popular culture. Um, you know, yeah. So the person who coined it, Fiona Broome, a self-identified paranormal consultant, detailed how she remembered former South African President Nelson Mandela dying in the 1980s in prison, although he lived until 2013. Um, so
That's the example that I had heard.
So the article goes on to talk about collective false memories. And again, it's a mental health page. And then they talk about confabulations, which is kind of like honest lying, like people saying things and just don't really realize that it's not true. It's a symptom in dementia often, which I believe is a dimensional illness, and that they go to another dimension in time and space. And that's why they, anyways. So of course they talk about it as false memories.
Because they don't totally understand it either. I mean, that would make, medically, you can't say, well, yeah, there's different timelines, there's blah, 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 you know, so.
Conspiracy theorists believe this is a proof of an alternate universe, while many doctors use it as an illustration of how imperfect memory can be.
Yeah, okay. That, you know, you say conspiracy theorists, you know, it's just like, oh, they're talking about me. You know, because that's where I am. That's who I am. So it's, like I said, we're waking up to so much of this right now, and it's been going on for some time now, but it's coming in quicker and quicker and quicker. And so we're experiencing, it's like I'm more calm around something that always flips my switch and pisses me off, you know, and it's like,
Don't you think that's a normal part of aging, Joanne?
no.
I feel that way. I feel
No.
as
Well,
as I
little,
get older, things
yeah.
don't bother me like they used to.
Yeah, but I'm talking about something a little bit bigger and quicker than that. Like last week, something would have pissed me off, and this week it's like, you know, I'm not that interested in that. I don't even give a shit. It isn't like little by little I see what, and I do understand what you're talking about, because it's like raising children. You know, your grandchildren come along and it's like, oh my God, what difference does it make when they walk or when they get off the bottle or whatever, you know?
Right.
Where when I was younger, it made a lot of difference, you know, but no, this is different. This is like ingrained things that you thought you would take to your grave. And then all of a sudden it's like, it's a lower vibration. Okay. And so you don't even relate to it hardly. Just a totally lower vibration. And it seems, according to someone else I listened to, that this is happening really quickly now, that we're going, it's like you have a split and your old self is down here and you're up on a little different vibration. And then just a short time later, the new vibration splits and you're up here again. And it's happening very, very quickly right now. So it can be very confusing.
Well, that's the thing, you know, and I'm thinking a lot of this for a variety of reasons, my own experiences, and then the clients I'm working with. I can't say to them enough, my God, are you going fast? Like I can barely keep up. Like,
that's what I said to you all the time.
When you did. That's interesting. Yeah, you did. And when you said that to me, I was like, what are you talking about? Like I didn't, part of me got it, but not really, you know, and now I'm like, you know, I have this one client and I'm like, shit, you know, I was just floored at how quickly she was going. And, you know, I use techniques, I purposely use the techniques I use to help people accelerate quickly and not be stuck in therapy forever, you know, like the old system. But I'm like, this isn't about my techniques. This is about them and what they're open to and what they're receiving. And, you know, once somebody makes that decision to do that work or be open, it's like, wham, like, wow. I mean,
Yeah,
it's great. It's a little startling though. But it is difficult because of the fast acceleration. But then you've got kids, a husband, and people that aren't necessarily in your world that are living that accelerated pace that you're living. And you're in this family system and these people you love, but you're kind of vibrating over here. And so, you know, trying to help clients negotiate that is tricky. It, you know, because
absolutely.
it's uncharted territory, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and they talk about people falling away, you know, well, you're not going to tell someone, well, you got to leave the husband and the kids, they'll be fine.
Mm.
That's not how it works, you know, but
No,
there has to, like you said, there has to be, it works that way with people that are pulling you back, you know, like
sure.
friends or somebody that's saying you're into shit way over your head, you need to stop this, you know, those will drop away.
Right.
Those need to drop away. But no, every single situation is going to be different, but there has to be some sort of a compromise
Right. And
for a while, you know?
it's interesting. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
because like
Yeah. Difficult.
when I started on my accelerated part of my journey, we'll say, I can remember having lunch with Christine and going, you know, I think you're from another planet. And she kind of chuckles and I'm dead serious. I'm like, no, really. Or a star system or something. I really, and she kind of looked at me and I said, so promise me that, you know, if I get too out there, you'll tell me. And do you think that's too out there? And she's like, no. And I would have sworn she would have thought that. And so she, you know, she doesn't necessarily agree with me or believe what I believe at all. I mean, sometimes we talk about it, most of the time we don't because I don't really want to know. So, but we do just fine because she gives me the bandwidth I need. She gives me that space that I need to roll around in this and figure it out for myself. In so many couples or family systems or what have you, that may not be the case. But I think we're going to start seeing that even though, you know, the spouse or whoever is not at that same pace, they're going to be allowing it. You know, I'm working with two of the women that I'm working with right now. Both of their husbands are that more that old fashioned standard, go to work, you know, structured, paternalistic, and they're allowing, you know, they're allowing that space for their wives to do what they need to do around this, which I find fascinating.
Which is probably their growth.
Right, right.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think about that. I
Yeah.
think, yeah.
I love, I keep hearing the word inclusion because when you said you were talking with Christina, I think the offer needs to be out there, you know, or the saying, this is what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know I'm going someplace here. You know, we can do this together, or we can be okay
Mm-hmm.
going our own ways. You know, I hate, and I don't like the word allow or let.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
right.
though I know what you're saying, they step away. You know, life goes on. Virtually, life's going on for them the way they want it.
Right.
Right?
And she'll step in and go, hey, you've been in your own little world for quite a while. Can you change a few light bulbs? They're burned out. Like, I don't notice that shit. So this morning I have a list of light bulbs that need change. So I'm like, oh, okay, house stuff. So
Yeah.
I need that reminder to focus on our home every now and again. But
Yeah. And maybe it's the deal where we're beginning to live as partners instead of with these stereotypical ideals of who you are and who I am. And we begin to accept each other totally for who we are instead of trying to scrunch somebody into this little stereotypical person they're supposed to be.
well,
So it seems like there's growth everywhere.
I'm going to put you on the spot now. How did
Boy,
that
like this,
for you and Jerry?
Yeah,
How did
same
that
thing.
for you guys? I mean,
He's got absolutely no interest in anything that where I'm going, what I'm believing, or anything. In fact, if you get in a conversation with a whole bunch of people and most of them are talking the old way, he'll be in that conversation.
but he's fine with you doing whatever you need to do.
Yeah, I suspect that he doesn't suffer for anything that I'm doing. That's for sure. I mean, Jerry's taken care of, and Jerry knows me. Jerry knows that he can't come up to me and say, I don't like that you're doing this shit. He knows that wouldn't work.
Okay.
Yeah. So no, we definitely do not have a.
But when you and Jerry got married, you weren't like this.
I always had a little bit of this. I always knew stuff.
Right.
But I was more into thinking everything that everybody else thought.
Right.
So we were just on that little road.
So he, in a sense, expanded with you by allowing you to expand your belief system and move and accelerate.
Absolutely. Just to where, absolutely. Like accepting it.
Yeah.
Like I used to iron his shirts on Saturdays after I'd worked all week long. And one day he walked in and I said, guess what? God just said I wasn't here on this planet to iron your shirts. And he said, well, it was good while it lasted.
Oh, God love him.
God love him my ass. I wanted to kill him. It's like, how long have I been doing this?
Why? I mean, that's a great response. Instead of, no, woman, you have to iron my shirts. He's like, well, thank God I had it while I did. I like that response.
I know you do. But anyway, so that's just the way it's been.
Yeah.
I mean, on the little other side of that, there's no support either. So I get my support from people who are in the same place.
Right.
It's just fine.
Yeah. And yeah, Christine's supportive to a point. There's a line I know, and she gets tired of hearing it, so it's like, okay.
Yeah.
But I get tired of hearing about her world too, like when are you going to step out of that? But so that's all about being in relationship and compromising and all that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, I could talk about this, but we've taken up a lot of time already. So how do you want to put some closure around this? I don't think we have time for a card and a meditation.
So, well, what if I guess one thing I'd like to do, maybe you could be shuffling a card while we do this if you want to, or do you want me to do it? Unless you want me to do an activation. If you don't, we'll just give some good sound ideas for taking care of yourself right now during this. Because like I said, a lot of people have gotten to the end of their patience, of their like feeling strong about all this, everything's going to be okay. They've gotten to the end of that and they're like on this shaky place.
Yeah.
And we don't want to be there. It's okay that we're there, but what we want to do is do the things that we need
Right.
to, because there's going to be a little bit more time that we have to be strong. Okay, things are going to start showing themselves. Things are going to start happening any minute, but it's going to be some months, you know, before you totally see what you're wanting to see or what you think you want to see. So you're going to have to stand strong. And a lot of people are forgetting. Someone made the remark to me the other day, I can't stand on my own yet because I don't know where I'm not getting any truth from anybody. And I said, sometimes that's when you need to turn off the TV and start thinking from your heart.
Yeah, that's what it's forcing us to do, is to go within and for our own truth.
Absolutely.
Right.
And we get the support to do that by getting outdoors. I don't care if you got 6 foot of snow, at least step outdoors, and if you got a sunshiny day, and let the sun totally fill you up.
You're going to shit when you know what I pulled.
Oh my gosh. Show me.
Rabbit.
Now is a lucky time.
Rabbit.
And rabbit.
And you saw that rabbit on the walk.
I saw the rabbit on the walk. I've seen something else came up about rabbits the other day. You know, that talks about fertility, everything.
No, rabbit's been coming up a lot when you and I are talking.
Yeah, and it's saying it's all coming together. And in order for us to keep up our strength and our hope, we need to be outdoors. You need to be soaking in Epsom salts and soda baths. You need to be meditating. You need to be taking naps. You need to be watching funny movies on TV. Anything
you need to be
that takes,
You need to be dancing.
Dancing. Absolutely. Once again, remember the music we told you about. Turn it on. You will not be able to stand still. You have to dance to it.
We'll end with, I'm going to read the upright rabbit message and we'll end on that. We won't discuss it, but we'll leave it with everybody for their
Absolutely. Time to take care of you and know that great things are coming in.
A sunny meadow calls, and rabbit spirit appears to lead you out of your dark warren into the light, so you can participate in a fertile and beautiful experience. It may seem safe below ground, but the magic happens when you come out and take the risk of being vulnerable and co-creating something new.
Wow.
I know, right? You are being invited into a new life that you have no experience with, but have no fear. Today is also a time to be fruitful and productive as you enjoy rabbit spirit's sunny and prolific energy. At this time, whatever you intend to bring to life will find fertile ground. There are no mistakes, really, when you are co-creating with spirit. So let new ideas spring to the surface, knowing that now is a lucky time of tremendous possibility.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Anybody, just rewind this and listen to Marianne say that again, and you'll have your activation. Just go exactly where that card said. Step into the light. Oh, my gosh, that was beautiful. There's just no way of saying that any better. God, I love that, Marianne.
Till next time.
Yeah, blessings to everybody.
Namaste.
Namaste.